What do you do and how do you help people? Explain it as if you're speaking to an 8th grader, because that's going to allow people to quickly assess if they want to be in your world. If they're trying to figure out all this industry jargon, the answer is immediately no. At least when you speak at it like simple, you have a chance.
Welcome back to our second session of the day. I am really excited about this session. This session is going to be with Jamar Diggs, and it's titled The YouTube Playbook for Small Creators Who Want Big Results. Jamar is a YouTube consultant who helps coaches, consultants, service providers, creators turn YouTube into their most reliable lead generation system. With experience working with major brands like Google and Athletic Greens, that's pretty impressive. He teaches people just like you how to create video content that attracts the right people who are ready to convert. So excited to bring Jamar up for this conversation. Jamar, welcome. How are you?
Hey, y'all. I am so happy to be here. I'm like so pumped to start talking about all things YouTube.
Yeah. Well, hey, for those, I kind of gave the very boring about you. Tell us what we need to know about you that for people who might not know who you are.
Yeah. So I am a corporate marketer through and through. I went to school for marketing and PR. Started working at homes.com and front.com, managing over 200 real estate agents accounts.
Wow.
And it was crazy, but through there I decided to start my business on the side, like from 2014. And
Wow.
and that's when I started kind of like working with YouTube and started kind of like increasing my personal brand with that, because I ended up switching over to social media coaching in 2017. And
Cool.
that was when I thought, oh, coaches have it easy, because I was like charging $200 a month for social media management on the side. And I thought, oh, coaching, I'll just tell people what to do. That was literally not the case, but I knew that I needed to expand my visibility. I knew that I needed to get my name out there and start kind of talking about the things I wanted to help people with. And
Amazing.
through that, something magical happened. It was literally like a day that I would never forget. Someone watched my YouTube video, downloaded my freebie, purchased my tripwire, and then one day later emailed me saying, I am ready for coaching. And I was like, what is this witchcraft? What is going on? But it was all part of the strategy. But when I was in corporate marketing, you don't really are able to see all of the moving pieces, because you just have like your role and that's it.
Yeah.
But when you own it, you get to see everything. And it was like
Yeah.
so amazing. And after a while, I started wanting to show people how to do that too, because YouTube has been such an amazing platform for me. It's been opening doors for me. I've been able to get speaking engagements, clients, all the sort. Like I've been able to not show up that much on social media and still get leads into my sales funnels just for my YouTube videos. And so I
Amazing.
want to share that with people today.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to talk about YouTube. YouTube is one that I have not personally done a lot, but I know the power of it, and so I'm excited to talk about it because um, I kind of believe. Here's my spicy take, Jamar. I kind of believe that if you're a creator in 2025, YouTube might be the most important thing that you could be focusing on. Tell me why I'm right or wrong about that.
Oh gosh. Well, if you're any kind of creator, period, you're here to help people in some kind of
Yeah.
way, right? It's not just to build community. We're here to do something, right? We're here to monetize something. And
Yeah.
everything begins with a search.
Yeah.
Everything that happens with anyone, whether you are building a community for like fitness professionals or mommy bloggers or whatever, everything begins with a search. And so it's really important for you to show up for when people need you the most, right? So when people are searching for things on Google and YouTube, the most advantageous thing that you could totally do is show up when they need you, when they're thinking about that issue. What can you bring to the table to make yourself seem valuable, stand out, and get them into your sales funnel?
Amazing. Okay, so if I'm a small creator and I've been like playing around with the idea of YouTube for a little bit, talk to me about where I need to be thinking first or where I need to be getting started with YouTube.
Okay, so this is going to be probably way different than what anyone would hear. So, but that's why we're here, right? So,
I love it.
you are going to start with what is the thing that you are trying to sell? What is the message that you're trying to get across? Because at the end of the day, we cannot just just post videos just because we feel like it will be something
Yeah.
valuable. We need to know that it will be
Yeah.
something valuable, and
Yeah.
we won't know that unless we have a goal in mind, right? What are we trying to get them to buy or join or whatever that may be? And then how well do we know our audience? Maybe we need to do a
Yeah.
little bit more market research, because one thing that I hate is wasting time, energy, and resources. So
Yeah.
I would rather us do some market research, do some keyword research, right? And see how that can align to whatever we're selling, and then answer those low-hanging fruit, like frequently
Yeah.
asked questions.
Yeah.
Start there. I would totally start there. Once you know who you are trying to bring into your community and
Yeah.
what you are trying to sell to them or get them to join, then is when you just start answering frequently asked questions. That's the easiest way to start.
It makes it actually really easy. And what's really cool is Amanda and I were just talking about this towards the end of our last session, which is a good segue into this one, which is empathy, right?
Mhm,
Empathy is a superpower here. So
mhm,
let's think about like, so what I hear you saying first is end in mind thinking. So, all right, what am I actually trying to do here? What am I trying to lead people towards? And my vote, I'm going to raise my hand here. My vote would be a paid community. I think that's the best way for creators to start something now. So
mhm,
if you have something that you're moving them towards, thinking end in mind, and
mhm.
then putting on the empathy hat and saying, all right, what are the struggles they have? What are the questions they're asking? What are the pain points they have? And all we're doing then is what I said to Amanda was very newsletter specific, but it's like writing 52 love letters to your audience. It sounds like that's the
Yes.
same exact thing that you're wanting to do on YouTube here, which is understanding our people, having a little bit of empathy of the struggles or the pain points or the
Mhm.
questions they're asking, and then just be as helpful as possible here. I love that takeaway.
Yes, yes, because what tends to happen, like what ends up happening is that you start creating these amazing marketing assets, right? So don't think about them as just videos out on the internet. These
Yeah.
are sales tools for you now. When you
Yeah.
know who you are trying to target into your paid community, you know what is holding them back. You know what they aspire to do. You know what problem they think it is when it's really something like something completely like different, right?
Yeah.
And so you are able to speak to that, right? And so that's the type of value that we're able to give. A lot of people end up thinking that it's just a bunch of how-to videos or anything like that. No, they are very strategic. And how-to videos is just one of the four types of videos that you should be having in your YouTube funnel, is what I call it.
Well, that's a great setup. What are the other three kinds? So how to is one kind. What are the other three kinds that we should be thinking about?
Yeah, so so the first video, like that kind of how-to video, I call it the anchor video. Those are going to be the videos that really drive most of the traffic into your YouTube channel, right? Because these are frequently asked questions, things that people really want to know. They're going to search first for that, and that's going to help you get noticed very quickly. Get found in search engines. Now, the next level to this YouTube funnel is a shifting perspective type of videos, right? So most of the time, everybody loves sharing their hot takes, their unpopular opinions. This is the time to share it, but more strategically, right? So
Yeah.
what are going to be those things that you want to shift their perspectives on, right? And position what you know, how you help your clients or members, right? And share more about like how you can help them, right? And so
Yeah.
it's just more about shifting their perspective around what they may think. Like for example, if you are some type of Instagram coach, and we know that followers don't always matter, right? And so your shifting perspective piece would be around that, like how this is a thing that really matters. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and then
Let's double tap on that a second because
oh
I
sure.
actually love this one. I once had a mentor tell me, we're looking for like a transformation here. We're looking for, I used to think this, but now I think this. Like that's one really interesting framework here. And this perspective shift is, hey, when I was younger, I used to think this way, but as I've matured and I've gotten better at things, I actually know this is the way things happen now. So that's one little interesting framework. And then another interesting framework for me here is like, who am I getting mad at on the internet? And I think about this often is like, if I can reframe this and be like, that person's really annoying me because X, Y, and Z, or like I'm like jealous of that person. Like you can actually use that as fuel because you can actually start thinking about how you view the world here. So,
Mhm.
hey, a lot of people think this way, and that person's annoying me, and I think you actually should not do it the way that they're doing it. You don't have to name them by names. We don't have to call people out, but it helps you clarify. I call this
Mhm.
contrast thinking.
Yes.
It actually helps you clarify when you think something in anger or somebody's annoying you or somebody's pissing
Mhm.
you off online. That contrast helps you see what you actually believe to be true. So, hey, a lot of people do it this way. A lot of people think you have to get 1 million subscribers on YouTube, but I actually know that 1,000 really aligned subscribers is more valuable than 1 million unaligned subscribers. So those
Mhm.
kind of things is like the differentiator or the contrast between the two. What do you think about my two frameworks there?
I love it because that's like so spot on. Like what I tell my members all the time is like, when you think about these topics, what is the thing that you just wish that you could just shake someone and tell them,
Yep.
right? And that is the piece of content that you need to be sharing. Like for example, because I teach YouTube, I always get members or clients who are trying to debate whether or not they should do either YouTube or a podcast.
Yep.
I get that all the time. So I create content on that to really help them understand which one is the best lead generator for them based upon
Yep.
their goals, right? And so that's been a very, very key message for me because that video is an asset to people who are thinking, who are trying to figure out what are going to be like the options for them, right?
Yeah.
So that's the shifting perspective. There are
Yep.
two more. So
Yep.
the next one is the combating objections. And so these
Mm.
are typically, they can be like this versus that or this versus whatever. That's more like that's like the most popular ones. But what are those things that people are doing on their own that you know they should not be? And you make a video about that, right? So there
Amazing.
is some gray, right? Because because technically that could also be a shifting perspective, but like I like to kind of think think separate about it, right?
Yeah.
Because it can be a whole lot of other things.
Yeah. And I think this is really interesting. This is again where like this is probably going to be a theme throughout this whole summit. So I'm just going to keep saying it is like empathy being a superpower here.
Mhm.
Is like if I can just even sit down for a minute and think about all of the excuses somebody is going to make about something, that creates the best content. I want to tell a short story about this. We often talk about building a community with no audience at Mighty Networks.
Mhm.
And the number one objection that we hear all of the time is, but I don't have a network. I can't reach out to my personal network because I don't even have a network. And so one of the pieces of content that we created is I said, hey, everybody, pull out your phone, open up the contact list and scroll to the very bottom and tell me how many contacts you have in your phone. And people are like 300, 500, 600. I'm like, and you don't have a personal network? Awesome. Okay, now go to LinkedIn. Now go to Facebook. And so that actually allows you to create some of the best content when you listen to the objections that you're hearing over and over again and just say like, okay, but like, how do I overcome that objection? And I love the combating objections as a category here because I agree with you. I think it pushes you to think creatively. It pushes you to like really care about somebody because they're not making up objections because they're making it up or faking it. It's because it's a real fear or it's a real concern. And if
Yeah.
I can use that empathy superpower, it pushes me to be really creative about creating interesting content. So I love that
Yeah,
content.
because it's like at the end of the day, there are other objections besides
Yeah.
money, right? We
Yeah.
always hear the money one, and it's like, but there's also something else that
Yeah.
you should answer to help people have the most confident buying de buying decision that they could possibly have, right?
Yeah.
And so, that's so great. I totally recommend that because, and then some people think like, well, I don't know enough about the people that I want to have inside of my community.
Yeah.
And I'm a big advocate of one one-on-ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like bottling up your transformation or like that tester that you're trying to do and do one, two, or three people, right? Reach out to them, talk to them, have a strategy session or whatever you may call it, get information so that you can then use it because you're going to find commonalities around these people if they are the type of people that you want inside of your whole community.
Yeah.
So and then you'll be able to figure out what are some of those mistakes that they did, like why is something not working for them. Those are your combating objection video topics.
Yeah. Okay. So number one is how to. Number two is shifting perspective. Number three is the combating objections. What's number four?
Number four is kind of split between personal stories, case studies like client testimonials, and client stories, right? So this is going to be like the bottom of funnel type of content, like these things
Yep.
like from people who are really trying to make a decision now, and that question always comes up with like, can this work for me? Right? Or
Yep.
and so having assets on your YouTube channel to help answer that allows you to easily add them as cards in other videos, mention a certain case study through you doing another video and like linking it and talking about it, but like you don't have to like talk too much about it because there's a video about it right here,
Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah.
it really becomes this nice binge funnel that everything becomes related. And
Yeah.
so because at the end of the day, you can give someone as much value as possible, but they have got to kind of see like if it really works. They
Yeah.
want to see that proof, or it does help make the buying process a lot more easier.
Yeah. This is the phrase that comes to my mind is like I grew up in the 80s and 90s and there was always infomercials here. And the phrase here that comes up is like, don't take my word for it. And I think that's a really interesting part here where it's like it's really cool for you to say about how this is transformed, but it's even better when somebody else talks about how they've used your product or they've engaged in your service
Mhm.
and then they've had the transformation. So it's like, don't take my word for it because I could be a shisty salesperson, but like listen to somebody else who has engaged in this and the transformation that they've gone through. And I think that's a super important part of the process for sure.
Yeah, and you get to see, like I think we also have to we can't kind of discount that a lot of certain decisions that we make, we are not just looking at the black and white data, we're looking
Yeah.
at nonverbal cues. We're looking at how was it working with this person? This person is willing to go onto this video to talk to Jamar about how amazing his membership is, then they must like him, and this is not a scam or whatever they
Yeah.
may think, right? It's
Yeah.
people are watching more than just the information that's happening, right? And so that's why I love video for something like this, because it's the richest media that you could do that checks all of the boxes. I mean, besides touch, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
But in
checks
the
all the
digital world, it makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
Yeah. That's great. So one thing that you said early is, and I know this is an objection, so we're gonna do some combating objections right now.
Okay.
You talked a lot about thinking about what you're selling right out of the gate, and I another way that I'll probably talk about this is end in mind thinking.
Mhm.
The objection that I think is probably going to come up here is like, but I don't want to be perceived as this person who's just trying to sell something all of the time. I don't want to be perceived as this person who's like always pushing people to buy something from me or whatever else. I don't want to be that used car salesman type vibe. So, how do I stay true to myself and my values and actually providing value without maybe falling into the trap of like just constantly pushing people to buy something from me all the time?
Here's the thing that I have to say to a lot of people is that you cannot help people from an empty cup. If you want to Mother Teresa your way to the top, you can go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? But like at the end of the day, you have got to make money. That's
Yeah.
what we're here for, so that you can help more people.
Yeah.
And but also just to get more direct here is you are still giving value.
Yeah.
You actually not giving them the paid offer is doing yourself and them a disservice, because you are making them believe that this free piece of content is enough to get the transformation that they need.
Yeah. Yeah. I say this often is like there is a possibility like having a business and selling something and helping people through a transition or a transformation are not mutually exclusive. Those two things can exist. And if we're doing business in the way that, and we talk about this at Mighty a lot, is like What is the transition that we're helping people through?
Mhm.
And if we really believe that the thing that we're offering, the community that we're building, or the thing that we're selling is helping people go from here to here, not only is it kind for us to talk about it, there's kind of a moral obligation to help lead people to something that's going to make them better someday. Whether it's connection to a group of people who are going through something similar, whether it's understanding or learning or education, there is like more than like more than just like, cool, I'm going to put some money in my pocket, I'm going to run away. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't have to be mutually exclusive of like helping people with something that's going to make their lives much better.
Mhm.
And I think like just keeping that in mind is really key. And the other thing that I say here, Jamir, is um, I often will just look people dead in the eyes and say, are you a swarmy, sleazy used car salesperson? No? Awesome. Then how are you magically going to become one overnight? And if you can
Exactly.
just show up as your full and authentic self, you're not going to all of a sudden become something that you're not. It's literally impossible. Just be yourself. Continue to use that empathy superpower and
Mhm.
just be yourself. And I think that you can those two things can exist in the same space. And that's one of my what did you call them? Shifting perspective
I
messages that I could
agree.
ever do. So
I totally agree. I think because you because you are thinking that way is an indicator that you will not become a used car salesman because you're always
exactly right.
going to make a decision to help someone.
That's exactly right. Okay, so I like the 4 types of videos here. Let's say again, I've been like batting around YouTube. Either I've been creating a bunch of random videos and I
Mhm.
haven't gotten traction yet, or I haven't even started my channel, or I haven't even posted my first video. Give me like what I should be doing in the first 3 to 6 months as I'm thinking about creating content on YouTube.
Okay, so okay, hold on. So what you should be doing. So the first thing, so are you asking like before you even touch the channel?
Yeah, like just I want to get started. I want to do this. What
Oh,
should I be thinking
perfect.
about in the beginning? Yeah.
Perfect. Make your account. Make your account.
Step one, sign up for an account.
Yeah, first thing, sign up for an account. You're gonna
Yeah.
wanna make sure, and I do have, like, a free resource for everyone that gives them a 90-day quick start guide, so I'll share that
Awesome.
like, later
Awesome. Thank
on,
you for that.
but basically, you're gonna start your account, and you're going to start with your channel banner,
Yeah.
okay? This is gonna be a banner, and do not just put a picture of you and a logo and some vague saying with it,
Yeah.
right? Don't just put lifestyle, fitness, and blogs or like blogs, right?
Yeah.
What we want to know is I like to call the text up on that channel banner your power statement. Who like what do you do and how do you help people? Okay. It can be and have it be as simple as possible. I like to say, um, explain it as if you're speaking to an eighth grader
Yep.
what you do, because that's going to allow people to quickly assess if they want to be in your world very quickly. If they're trying to figure out all this industry jargon, they're that like the answer is immediately no. At least when you speak at it like simple, you have a chance.
Yeah. I,
Okay.
I think this is huge. This is like one of the most underrated pieces of advice that I think we'll have all day is talk to people like they're in 8th grade. And one of the objections that I hear often here, Jamar, is, well, people will feel like I'm talking down to them. And I just think that's not true at all.
No.
I think when people understand clearly what's going on, they understand the next step or the next thing that you're asking, that clarity is so huge. The other thing is like if we can't jump over the bar of like, can an 8th grader understand this? Then we probably are talking in ways where people are like, what did he just say? What did they just say? What's going on
Mhm,
here? You're using words or acronyms or things that I just don't quite get.
mhm,
And that is like immediately gonna be like, oh, this is not a place for me. And I think that's the vibe that you're wanting people to get to when you're speaking simply is this is a spot for me. I belong here.
yes.
And if I feel dumb or I feel left out or it feels confusing, I'm out because this is obviously not a place for me. And I think that's the vibe that
Mhm.
you're wanting people to get to really quickly.
Yes, it means you are not welcome here. Like, what is going on, right? And so,
Yep.
that's really what we want because when you are speaking at that level, everything becomes much more simpler, which and it does push you to think about what you say, but it's so that you can actually help the person that is watching your videos, right? A
Yep.
lot of us, we have I don't know where I heard this phrase before, but it's like the curse of knowledge. I don't know if anyone
Yep.
has heard that phrase before, but
Yep.
but like we are too smart for our own damn good, you
Yep.
know, like because we know everything. And like I work with a lot of experts, so they know everything. But what happens is that when you're up here and your idle client is right here, y'all are missing each other. Right. And so what my job is to kind of tone it, to like help them tone it down so that we get it. Like even when they do keyword research, these clients, like they speak so high level, and like no one's searching for this theory. They're looking for why is their back hurting?
Yep. Yep.
You know, and so that's how I want you to speak up on your channel, Banner. The next thing is like you're gonna be optimizing your channel description. So really take some time and talk about like who you are, what you do, and what can they expect from that channel. You're gonna probably naturally add in keywords from that. So don't focus on that too much, because you're gonna end up talking about like some of like the topics that you're gonna cover up on the channel.
Yep.
And then the links section, the first link on your YouTube channel should be your lead magnet, your freebie, the thing that's going to get them into your world, your email list.
Yep.
I don't care what the other ones are, but the first one is the lead magnet. And
I think this is cute. I think we need to pause here for a second.
Okay.
I've gone to so many YouTube channels where they're not even linking back to their website, let alone a way for them to capture the attention long term.
Yeah.
And so this sounds really basic and simple, but like I cannot stress this enough. Is YouTube leading to having owned media or having the ability to talk to somebody over and over again via email is huge. This is kind of like part of the whole point. And so having that lead magnet being top and center first link, I think is a very underrated piece of advice that I think if you have a YouTube channel right now and this isn't on your channel, like fix this ASAP.
Yes.
And if you're starting a YouTube channel, make sure it's the thing that's there right away. I think this is like low key, super important piece of advice.
Yeah, it's like it's like your welcome mat, you know, like if they're on your channel, 9 times out of 10, that free resource is going to be the thing that they need anyway.
Yeah.
So make it easy for them to get.
Yep, absolutely.
There's one last thing. Well, actually, if you're just getting started, you probably won't have this, but if you do have a few videos up on your channel, you're going to want to organize your home page in a way that makes it easy for your ideal client to start their own journey, right?
Yeah.
So if there's 3 pillars of specialties that you have, make a playlist for each specialty and put it on your homepage so that it feels like a choose your own adventure.
Yeah, that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm thinking about then creating the first videos for my channel, Jamar, how should I be thinking about this? Obviously, we've got our 4 pillars here, the 4 types of content we're thinking about, but maybe I don't have the Jamar kind of energy, or I'm not good on camera, and in the same way, people have been saying in chat this whole time, like, I love his energy. This is really great. But like, what do I think about? How do I think about being on video, or how do I think about creating my first set of videos here?
Okay, so I want to hit on the energy aspect. You do not have to be like me. This is one of the best reasons why I only work with people who are trying to run businesses with YouTube, because we do, like, your personality is not the star here. It's your expertise. Okay, so you can be the most boring person on the internet, and someone will still need your help, and they will still be willing to watch your videos and learn from you, because they're not there for your personality. Does it help? Maybe, but there's no point in you being like me if they're not going to get that when they come into like a call or a community with you. So
Yep.
please be yourself. I've worked with lawyers in all kinds of industries, with trademarks, immigration, all of these things, right? It is the most non-sexy industry ever, but they are still getting clients with YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So like, don't let that stop you. Oh gosh, sorry, I went on the tangent of the energy thing, but like, and I forgot the rest of the question.
No, it's okay. I think this is a good double tap on this. Is like, being yourself is actually, again, a low key, huge piece of advice here. Is because if we said earlier, is this a place for me? Is a question that people are going to ask often.
Mhm.
And you know what? There's going to be some people that think Jamar's energy is amazing and infectious. There's going to be some people that's like, ooh, okay, that's a little bit much for me.
Yeah,
And what
they're
you're
gonna
trying
hate
to,
me.
yeah. And all you need to do is you're finding your people. And so you can't find your people if you're pretending to be something that you're not. You can't find your people if you're faking it till you make it. The way that you find your people is you be truly and fully yourself. And people who are just like you are like, oh, okay, great. Maybe I'm a little awkward and introverted, and it's a place for me because that person's a little bit awkward and introverted, and I can kind of connect to that. Or they're like, man, I love Jamar's energy. I'm a little bit more like you. Have got high energy, Jamar. So I'm like, I'm looking for people like, oh, he's got good energy. I could hang with him. Like, let's do this. So I'm looking for people like me. People are constantly looking for, is this a place for me? And if
Mhm.
you're faking it, they can't connect to the real you, especially when they buy something from you later and they find out like, wait a second, I thought he was this or they were that, and now they're not that. And so I think being yourself is really, really important. So I wanted to double click on that for a second.
Yes.
Okay, but thinking about the first videos, like what are some things that I should be keeping in mind to be really successful in my first set of videos I'm creating?
Okay, so perfectionism runs rampant with
Mm,
all of my members. And some of them are in the chat right now. And so I'm so sorry. I'm gonna call you out. But perfectionism gets them, it eats them hard, man. It's wild. They are the most smart people. They are the most logical and smart people. But when YouTube enters the chat, they just become, it just is a mess. And so and so but what I try to get through to them is that your first video is not going to be your best video. We all
mm,
have to start somewhere. And so there are some times where members will literally just post their first video just so that they can say that they did it, and then we'll focus up on the second video. It's so funny, but start there. Like you have to put your reps in, right? Like it's a
yep,
skill that you are learning, like mixed with like what, like public speaking maybe, and being up on camera and learning how to like pace yourself too. So it's a skill that you have to refine, just like anything. And so do not intimidate yourself just because you want it to be really, really perfect, because that also happens when you're trying to compare yourself to other, maybe more established YouTube people, or even me, right? Like I had to do something to where I had to post a 17-minute video in my community to show everyone that I do not do one takes. I cannot do a one take video. I am messing up hard. I am glitching hard at every raw footage. You know what I'm saying? Perfectionism, throw it out. You know what I'm saying? That's what
mm,
editing is for. And so that part I just want them to like really be clear, because we already have the topics, right? Your expertise is the star, right? And so really what happens is like the mental gymnastics with everyone. And that's how you can be the most successful, is to make sure that you understand that your first video may not be the best, but dang, you did it. And now we're going to
yeah,
keep doing it, and then you're going to end up finding ways for you to do it better. But you wouldn't know that unless you posted that first video, those first few videos. And so, yeah, I think I just want people to understand that like it's your expertise that matters the most. Okay.
yep,
All this other stuff doesn't matter. I mean, as long as they can see you and hear you, you should be good.
yeah. I think this is like oftentimes if you like just reframe this a little bit, it's super helpful. Like if I were to say to you, at 100 videos, you are going to feel really successful. Well, how quickly would you try to fail through your first 10, 15, 20, 25 to
Mhm.
try to get to that 100th video if I could guarantee success? And now success is not guaranteed anywhere, but sometimes we have the wrong mindset of like, I've got to get this first one so perfect and right before we even get going, that it's like, the good news is when you post your first video, nobody's probably paying attention at all, but you're getting the reps, you're getting it out there, and I think that's super key as well. So what else should I be thinking about if I'm trying to build the momentum of my YouTube channel in the early days?
Yeah. Okay. So when you do, so if you want to let that first video die, you can if you want. But uh the best thing for you to do is to use your built-in audience um to get this video to them within the first 24 to 48 hours of publish. Okay. So using your built-in audience, like your threads account, your community, whatever, whoever you have, like even your email list, all these things. Make sure that you send that video out to them, because even if you don't have an audience on YouTube, us sending traffic to that video is going to help send these social signals to YouTube that these people are watching it. They're watching it all the way through. Maybe this video is valuable. Maybe it can be tested in other buckets, right? And it's going to help kind of give your video some social lift, versus you just kind of posting it and just being like, okay, whoever sees it will see it.
Yeah, that's great. What if I don't have an audience? Where do I begin, or how do I begin using YouTube to become helpful if I don't have a newsletter or threads or anybody on accounts yet? Is YouTube even a good spot for me to start?
So that's a good question. Here's the thing. I do not believe that we should just use YouTube,
Mm,
right? So YouTube is, so I have this thing, this kind of concept to where I think that we should have at least an attraction-based platform and a community-based platform. And I know I'm saying community, so this may be a little bit different, because when I say community-based platform, I'm thinking social media platforms that are basically community driven, like likes, shares, all this other stuff. That is what helps get the conversation going.
yeah.
Right. And those people kind of stay and hang out with you. Okay. Your attraction based platform is anything that is like a search engine attraction based thing, to where you don't have to really work that hard to get people to like see that content all the time.
Yeah.
In fact, it just works without you really having to like touch it all the time. And so having them both is going to really help you. And so um if you are if you are having your attraction-based platform and your community-based platform, you have something, even if it's like 10 people. And if not, send it to your mom. My God, just get a view up in there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's going to be like my answer for that. Like, if you don't have an audience, you should be actively trying to build one anyway. And so this video is going to help you add more value to these relationships that you're trying to already like make with people.
So I guess the $100 question here is: YouTube an attraction or a community platform?
So in this case, it is an attraction-based platform.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we'll use YouTube for attraction, and then you can use like LinkedIn, Threads, which Instagram for your community-based platform.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Talk to me about like, how do I sustain success on YouTube? How do I keep it going, or keep going, like building it into like a flywheel or an engine that keeps working for me in my business? How do I, like, if I'm getting started, awesome, we've got the getting started under our belt, but how do I
Mhm.
build momentum and keep things going?
So you will you have to keep doing those 4 video types.
Yeah.
It's a rinse and repeat method. What I normally start teaching is take one frequently asked question and turn it into a anchor, shifting perspective, combating objection, personal client story, right? And then turn that into a playlist. And so that's like one easy way to kind of like do it. But
Let's make sure I'm understanding that quickly. So like a frequently asked question that somebody would ask, turn
mhm,
that into a how-to video, and then turn that same question into a shifting perspective, then a combating objection, and then a story video. So use one question into
mhm.
4 video types.
Yep. Yep.
Awesome.
Right. And so but also keep in mind, this is going to be like a long process. Like you don't have to be posting every week. I actually recommend just 2 videos a month.
Okay.
Okay. And so but what you will want to do is you would probably want to start with your anchor videos.
Okay.
right? Because those are going to be the traffic drivers. Okay. So start out with like maybe make 4 of those kind of funnels that I just said, right? Based upon like 4 frequently asked questions. Do the first 4 anchor videos. Okay. And then you can go and pick and choose whatever order you want for the other 3 video types.
Cool.
But starting out with that with the anchor videos is going to give your channel like a boost, because those are going to be the frequently asked questions that people are searching for all the time.
Great. So this is really clear. And there's a couple questions popping up here. So I want to just get really, really clear on this.
Mhm.
So the anchor videos, you're saying create 4 playlists of the 4 different video types. So basically your anchor content is like 16 videos. Am I hearing that right?
Ooh, hold on. No. So, I like to create playlists based upon the frequently asked question or like
Okay.
the topic, right?
Okay.
So let's just say like, um, uh, how to get clients, or like how to get more reach on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
That is that's frequently asked question. That is also going to be a playlist, right?
Okay.
That's going to be a anchor video. That name of it. The
Yep.
shifting perspective is going to be something like why followers don't matter, reach
Yep.
is where it's at. I don't know, something like that. Combating objection is ads versus organic, Instagram, whatever, which one's better, right?
Yep.
Because it's gonna be something that people always think about. And then your last video type, the client story or something, would be like how we increased Instagram reach by 10x for this client,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
So that's like what, it's a playlist of 4 videos. That's an
Mhm.
anchor content. And you're saying to do that one time, or how many times do I do, how many of those questions do I answer and create a playlist
As
like that?
many as you can answer. That's what you do.
Amazing.
Just keep on going. Just keep on
Amazing.
going. 2 videos a month. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I would choose the ones that are the most frequently asked, that
Yeah.
tie to your offer,
Amazing.
and then hit that.
So super, super clear playbook. So it's like one question turns into 4 videos. I've got 2 months of content if I go every other week. The
Yep.
next question is another 2 months of content. And I just keep building that content over and over and over again.
Mhm.
That's
And
super, super clear.
what ends up happening, so like that's how you kind of start building that system. But after a while, keep in mind that this is content that you're going to be using for other things too. Like you can make this into blog post content. You're going to be able to
Oh, interesting.
repurpose this
Yep.
in so many different ways up on other social media platforms. You now have other ways to like really repurpose this. But also you have assets for your entire customer journey, even
Yeah.
when they become clients, right?
Yeah.
So you have a lot of opportunity here to make marketing a lot more easier, because when you are using YouTube in this way, you do not have to hustle so hard on the other platforms, because people are still going into your sales funnels. And like, yes, they may be coming in from Instagram and other things too, but you get to chill out for a week if you want to, and not be stressed about, am I getting the reach that I want, right? You get to take back your time. You don't have to post every day if you don't want to.
Yeah. That's amazing. Okay. So the question that comes to my mind here is, how long should these videos be? Should I be doing like hour-long videos to answer these questions? Should it be 3 minutes? Like how do I think about how long a video should be when I'm creating this anchor content?
So the video should be as long as what it needs to be.
Mhm.
But if you want like a number, like 5 to 7 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
Like nothing too crazy. Like don't go crazy. Like don't go into a spiral, y'all. It's just like literally just give them. Imagine you're making a Loom video. My God, how long is the Loom video going to be to get to help the person get the point? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then that's it.
Yeah.
And
Just
then
like
that.
as long as it needs to be without it being drawn out too long and
Mhm.
without it being too short that we're left with a bunch of questions at the end.
Correct. Or if you do, like, we want to make sure that like we are at least answering that one question, right?
Yeah.
If that starts to bring up more questions, then you turn it into a series and you answer those other questions with other videos.
Yeah.
And
Amazing.
then that becomes a playlist. There you go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? Because
amazing.
playlists can also rank, y'all. So that's why I'm like saying put everything inside a playlist, because playlists can also rank in YouTube search and Google search. And
Interesting.
so not only are your videos working for you, but also the playlist itself too. So you can put videos in multiple playlists. So as long as it fits like the query and it does add value, then it's great. Because really, if you follow like my framework for like even scripting, um, uh, every video becomes an asset on its own. But when it's put together, baby, oh my God, like it's they have no choice but to get your lead magnet. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's all I'll say there.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so creating this anchor content, talking about it. What do I do when I post the video? I mean, you talked about sharing it on other platforms before, but like, do I just kind of like put it out there and then hope it works, or like, am I just like, spray and pray and I just hope that people are finding it? Is there anything else that I need to be thinking about once that content is published, other than sharing it to my other channels and my
Okay,
places?
so you do have to optimize the video. This is where it gets kind of like, I ain't trying to make y'all spiral too much, so I'm just gonna say this. So what you are going to want to do is look at the packaging of the YouTube video. Okay, so we're going to be focusing up on the thumbnails, the title, the video, and the video description, and like the the things that you can add inside the video from YouTube, like cards and end screens. Okay, and so all of these things play a role in getting your video suggested or found in search, because you're giving YouTube a lot of information about what this video is. And so this is where keyword research comes in hand. I love using vidIQ. That is one of my like favorite ones. But any keyword research tool is fine. But what you're going to want to do is, when you come up with your topic, like that frequently asked question, you're going to look to see what phrases it, like what phrase is the best that you can find inside vidIQ, and then get up out of there. Like don't start going to a rabbit hole. Find your keyword and get gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you're going to make sure that keyword is inside of the title. Then you're going to want to have the thumbnail. So the thumbnail should be something different than on the title, because that's really great real estate for you. Like, so if something is like how to get your first, I don't know, 1,000 views on whatever, right? You don't want to put on the thumbnail how to get your first 1,000 views, because then it's like you're missing out on another opportunity to get people to understand, to want to like click on to watch that video.
Yeah.
So think about elements, maybe like some text, very, very short text. And then you're going to want to find some secondary keywords, is what I call them. So you found your primary one, but now what are some related keywords and phrases that relate to that keyword? You would also use vidIQ for that too. And you'll just find the ones that have a how do I say this? A high search volume and low competition. If that confuses you, don't worry about it. Okay. And then you add those into like tags for the YouTube video. There's a tag section inside each video. And then you're going to take those tags and that primary keyword, and you're going to create a keyword rich description of what the video is about. And then you're going to add chapters or timestamps inside of that video as well. And if you can add some relevant keywords to it, that's great. If not, don't try to overdo it. But chapters can also be found in search as well. Like when people are searching for certain things, and if your video has that chapter, YouTube or Google will take you right to that timestamp that's listed there. So it's really, really helpful. Anyway, so all that stuff, you're kind of just like giving YouTube as much information as possible about this video. And then also adding cards and end screens, right, will help your video get suggested. It tells YouTube what videos are related sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you're just kind of helping get along.
Amazing. Okay. I love that. Some people were like, what's going on?
Yeah, I know.
Keywords, everything else. And it's like, love this. So what we're saying here is like there's lots of amazing resources out there to learn all this stuff. Basically, like the takeaway I want people to have from this is we're just helping people find the video here. Let's don't overthink this too much. Uh, you have tons of resources, I'm sure, on how to do this stuff. There's going to be a replay that you can like
Mhm.
pause and start over again on some of this stuff. So don't get too deep on this. But there's lots of resources for you to dig deeper on this. But basically, what we're looking here for is like making it easy for people to find, and I think that's what we're the takeaway I want you to have from here. I want to go all the way back to the beginning, Jamar, and talk about market research. That was a term that you used early on.
Mhm.
One of the questions that popped up in the chat is like, what is a good way to do market research? Because it sounds like these frequently asked questions that our ideal person is asking is maybe the most important part of creating these videos. Like, how do I do this market research? What's the best way for me to find the most compelling or the most asked questions for my ideal customer? How do you approach that?
So, you can do this a few ways. You can either be a crazy stalker, or you can actually like talk to your clients. So if you have clients or you have something already made that you can sell or whatever, then most of the time you are getting ask these things inside of your sales calls, your applications, your contact page, right? Um, you may also be being asked this when you go on social media, right? In your comments, you may be getting some DMs about these things. So, what are those things that you're always getting bombarded with? And that's kind of like your way. And then, if you wanted to go a little bit deeper, like I said, I am a big advocate of like, even if you don't normally do one-to-one things, creating like some kind of like special offer where you would do a one-to-one like session with like maybe like 5 people, right? And you get to
Yep.
learn more about them. They're going to ask questions. You know what I'm saying? I don't like doing it free because why am I going to listen to people who don't want to pay?
Well,
So-
I think this is key because it's again like your ideal customer is not somebody who does stuff for free either, right?
exactly.
So like if I'm talking to people who only want free stuff, they're not my ideal person because the ideal person is paying for my services or my products or my community,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think this is something we talk about all of the time is making sure that it's somebody like people are willing to pay because people pay attention to what they pay for.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is a key component in this entire thing is talk to people who've already paid you money, talk to past clients, or like look at email threads of people who are paying, or the questions that somebody asked in the midst of your onboarding, or in group chats or in one-on-one calls. Like just pay
Yeah.
attention to those areas. I think is super key.
Yes. Now, if you don't have any clients, right, and that whole part sounds kind of scary to you, the next best thing is to be a stalker. So, what you're going to do is you're going to find the people that are in your similar industry or that you may aspire to like be like or anything like that, and go to their page. Maybe go to their YouTube channel, filter by popular videos. And there you go. You got some frequently asked questions right there. You got some content right there. Um, you got some ideas, right, of what people may be thinking about. Go into their comments. And let me tell you, so many questions happen in the comment section of YouTube videos. It's like too much. So like, and someone's like, they're like, it's not enough to have the free video. People are like, they'll ask some more questions, and I'm like, I'll make another video. So that's gonna be where you'll find stuff too, or on other social media sites in their comments. So like just find the most popular content that they have and look and see what questions are being asked in the
I have a story about this. My friend Joe did this. He was in the comment section of one of the this was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. There was a really well-known blogger named Michael Hyatt. And on one of Michael's videos, he was talking about writing a book and he mentioned this word Scrivener. And Scrivener is a tool that people use to help write books. And so like he mentioned this thing kind of like you do with vidIQ, and a bunch of people were like, "What is Scrivener?" And so my friend Joe was like, "Oh, I'm going to start creating content about how to use Scrivener." And 15 years later, he's built a multi-million-dollar business teaching people about Scrivener, all because he saw the comments of somebody else's blog. And you can do this on YouTube, you can do this in Reddit, you can do this in so many different places. Is like, look at the comments, what people are asking questions for. And if you know how to help people there, you know how to use the tool, or you know how to solve their problem, you immediately know where to get started. And I think that's an incredible, incredible starting spot.
Oh, I love that. Yes, that's perfect.
Cool. All right. We are coming close to time. So we've hit some of the questions that were coming up in chat here. But Jamar, what is one thing, if somebody is wanting to use YouTube to really push their career forward or to grow their business, what's one kind of final thought that you want to leave with somebody who's really wanting to make this a priority in the next year?
Really, really get out of your head. Do it. Just do it. Like literally, I don't care what equipment you use at this point. I don't care about the mic, the camera. You can use your webcam for all I care. Just do it. Get the first video out, and just keep going, because that's going to be the thing that holds you back. There's so many people who say that it's on their vision board, but honey, that vision board, it's been on the vision board for decades. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So don't be that person. I want you to really just get out of your head and do it. And that's easier said than done. But what I would recommend you do is like, what motivates you? Think about what are the things that motivate you the most, right? Do you need accountability? Do you need to like join something, get a friend, or whatever to motivate you? I had a friend tell me that she's motivated by shame. She's motivated by shame. So like, she is really like, no. I'm going to share this account with my husband, and he's going to see if I'm like overspending something or whatever, right? Not that he's going to do anything crazy, but it's just nice, like for her to see, to like kind of keep her on the straight and narrow, you know?
Yeah.
So what are those things that you need to do to kind of make sure that you will actually do the thing? Think
Good.
about that. And then secondly, I'm so sorry, I feel like we're at time, but like,
You're
but
totally
real
fine.
quick, that's the first thing. And then the second thing is, I may have told you that the camera and stuff does not matter, but if it matters to you really, really bad, do it, and do it now.
Yeah.
Don't put it, if it matters to you right now, buy it now.
Yeah.
There's so many YouTube videos that will tell you what video and camera to get, then do it. Do it. Since this is holding you up so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do it now.
I love it.
Because it has to happen for you to actually do something. So it becomes priority, like number one.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that. Just do it. Just get started. Get that first video out. You mentioned that you have a free resource. Quickly mention where people can find that free resource.
Yeah.
And I would love to tell people about that.
Yes, I'm going to put it here inside the chat. But it is a free 90-minute quick start guide. It walks you through everything. It has a video tutorial, templates, all the good things for you to get started in just 90 minutes. Okay.
Amazing.
And all you have to do is just go to JamarDiggs/Mighty, and you can download it today. Okay.
Awesome.
Or click the link inside the chat.
Jamar, thank you so much. Thank you for being so generous. Thanks for bringing your energy to this call. Lots of great learnings. And so thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much.